Hello everyone, welcome to the Galactic Show number 4. Yes, 4 already.
Yes.
Interesting. And we now have a new guest today. And who might this cool guest be, Dalia?
You might know her as Countess of the Cosmos, or at least that's what we're calling her. Please welcome Miss Cathrin Machin, or Lauer. What?
Hello, how are you, Cathrin?
I am amazing. Countess of the Cosmos. I have
That's a
never,
cool name, right?
but I will take it.
Yeah, Dalia comes up with the best names.
I love coming up with names for people. It's your
I
title.
love it.
Take it. Use it.
So as you guys can see, Cathrin has an amazing background compared to us. Fantastic background.
It's where I sit every day to work, actually. This is my painting table.
Nice.
And it's so lovely. The perfect space, really, for creativity. So
You just need some artificial plants, honestly. Like I can't be trusted with real plants, and I also travel a lot, so they always die, but makes
Maybe
it
some
kind of
plants
foresty.
no plants. This is Antoine's office, though, so he
It's a
messed up.
mess. It's okay. So
Anyway.
today we're gonna have, just like usual, some questions for Kat, as well as a prize to win, and we'll also have a trivia near the end with Raffle to win a prize.
Yes. So I think it would be great right off the bat because Kat's got some exciting news coming up in her corner of the world right before we go into the interview. Kat, do you want to tell us about your store?
Yeah, I so Ian and I did our first astrophotography project together. I'm new-ish to astrophotography. I've been doing it for about a year-ish. But I've got my first telescope setup, then I've just been processing, and then I've used the pieces and made them into artwork. So this is one of them, and I've got a few others. Yay! I'll just show you now a list.
That is so nice.
And it's so
I shot
cool.
the moon.
Ooh, nice.
Move over, Andrew.
Heck yes. I actually messaged Andrew McCarthy before I'd shot this and was like, do you mind if I borrow her? And he's like, who? And I was like, the moon.
You mean this? he is the moon guy. But that's
Because, this is it's so sweet. I have, Ian's very technical. He's very good at the telescope operating side of things. And I've been learning and he's been teaching me. But Ian is colorblind and I have, I can't remember what the condition is called, but I have extra color things in my eyes. So I see more colors than a normal person. Wow. So,
is that like cones and rods?
Yeah, I think it's called, I can't remember exactly. I have to Google it. Anyway, so I do all the color editing for it because he can't see. And I was trying to work out what was going on. And I put the color filters, the colorblind filters onto Photoshop so you can see so I could see what he was seeing. And I was like, whoa, you can't tell what you're doing. It's impossible. And he would beforehand, he would color, he would do all the color editing by using the color eyedropper and being like, okay, I know that's green and I know that's red. And I was like, wow, that is hard. That is hard.
Yeah, I didn't know that about him.
Why pick a hobby like this when you're colorblind? Oh, that must be very challenging.
He's got some passion.
Yeah,
that's why.
He's doing so well though. It's such a huge challenge.
This whole time, we never knew. Nobody would.
I think I mentioned it once a long time ago, but yeah, it's crazy.
So we make the best team. We're like,
yeah, it's perfect. And someone says tetachromic. I guess you have that.
Tetrachromic.
Tetrachromic. That's it. So
okay.
I have the spare colors that he doesn't have.
It's like you're a fly, no?
That's why you guys complement each other so well. That's probably why he married you. He's like,
opposites attract.
It's perfect. Well, yeah, that's so exciting about your story. I know you've got a lot of stuff, and we have some pictures to show later. But I would be remiss not to mention that the raffle prize actually today for this show, because we always have a raffle prize, is actually from Kat herself.
Which is perfect.
From her store. This is an amazing raffle prize.
And you can see it right now in front of Kat. So show us who it is.
I mean, not this specific one. I think what we'll do is we'll give whoever wins, I would just give them the ability to pick whichever design they want, because everyone has their own preferences, Yeah. Some people are moon people, some people ain't, and that's okay. So people can get their own lovely little LED. Ooh, and
you want to show them what it does? You want to?
Yeah, all right. So I did this earlier, and it makes me laugh. I'm going to turn the lights off.
Look how cool that is.
But when I turned the lights off, Dahlia said I looked like I was from a witness protection program. It does,
You look
honestly.
pretty scary.
Can you speak in a more gruff voice?
God, did I go so funny?
You tried.
Hello.
Oh no. Everyone run.
Ian?
Anyway, so it's got a button and it's got lots of different modes. You can change the various colors.
Nice. Super
Because
cool.
it's fabulous, and it's got other ones where it will like gently cycle through different colors and all of that kind of jazz, you know,
Very nice.
as it does. Anyway, we'll take myself out of the witness protection program. I needed a voice modulator. That's actually what I need.
Yes,
Very cool.
that's it. Okay.
So if you guys want to win this, you can enter the super chat, and we'll pick one of you guys at the very end and do raffle with a spin wheel, and one lucky person will win this
Your
straight
choice.
from Cat's store.
Yeah, that's like the first time I've ever seen, you know, anything like that, you know, that any fellow astrophotographers as of late that have created. I think that's a really great thing to do. I don't have one of those, but I want one.
We'll have to buy one for ourselves.
Yeah, it's really nice material as well. Like obviously I was wondering if it could get washed because it's got like an LED thing, but you can actually wash them. You just have to there's like a little tiny box in here. Just keep that dry, but you can. I've scrubbed and dipped this one in a whole bath. Yeah, like full submerge. So all of this stuff is fine, just as long as that's kept dry. It works fine. So
wow,
hooray!
Yay!
Fantastic. So we have some questions for you. We'll go over them pretty quickly. Hopefully, we can go through them all. So maybe in like 30 seconds first, tell us what got you into astro. In your case, painting astro, like a very short.
Well, astro's pretty broad, so just astro.
Yeah.
Why do I love space?
What got you into
What
it?
got you into it? Did somebody get you into it?
So I watched a lot of nature documentaries with my mom when I was really, really little. And obviously there must have been something space related that got me. But then when I was like 7 or 8 years old, I remember being in the backyard. This was when I was living in the UK. And we were going to look at the Perseid meteor shower because my mom would always say, "Oh, it's Perseids," or whatever. She'd get really excited. And we went outside with my dad's old binoculars, and they were like these 70s binoculars. They smelt of old bound leather, which I'm vegan now, so whatever. But you know what I mean? It smells nice. And they were like solid glass, you know, like heavy. And I remember it was England. It was probably overcast and it was cloudy, but we did get to see the moon and all the craters and stuff. And obviously there's no stabilization, so it was shaky AF. But, you know, it's like, wow, as a little kid. And I hit myself in the face so hard. I gave myself like 2 little tiny black eyes. Anyway, that did not put me off.
You're like, I want more.
Because here I am. I'm like, oh, glutton for punishment.
Such is the artist's way of life.
Exactly.
And so what is your current setup for the cosmic art in your store? Like, how do you create all this? What's your setup?
Oh, so I do a couple different things. Like I do paintings, which I haven't done here. Behold, I actually got this later on your previous intro. So I do these like kind of imaginary, like just things from my mind or whatever. Just make it up and have a bit of fun. And I do commission work where I work with a client and we'll paint something specific for them, whatever it is, Milky Way, galaxy, nebulae. And then I also do astrophotography now. Now, here's the thing. So you might know, a lot of people might not know, but in the past, at least, I used to do a lot of editing for other astrophotographers, even though I wasn't an astrophotographer, because I got, you know, people would do their images, they do the processing, but as far as like giving it that sparkle and making the colors balance and all of that stuff, a lot of them would struggle. So I would do a lot of editing for other people outside of obviously myself and Ian, and which is fine. And I never asked, like I specifically said, don't credit me. It's fine. Like I don't need to be credited on it. But I remember what happened was, and this is A-okay, another artist asked the astrophotographer if they could paint the picture that I'd spent probably like 50 hours like doing the editing on, like processing. And which is fine, but then they did it, and I remember feeling like really gutted because I was like, deep down, I was like, wow, they're just copying the artwork I made. Which is like, but then it spurred something in me, because I was like, oh my God, I had this whole identity crisis, because I was like, wait, I'm a deep space artist and I paint other people's photographs, because every astrophoto is a work of art. So much, like, you could take the same data, give it to 10 different people, the way that they process it will be insanely different. Like, everyone will look totally different. And each one takes out, like, sometimes we're editing things, as you know, for like 50, 60, 70 hours. I mean, some people have their method, whatever, you know, but when you really want to put time and effort into it.
You got to put your stink on it. You have your own.
So it's almost the same as you would do a painting. Like, a painting would take that long. So so all of a sudden I was like, wow, now I had this understanding of how it was done. And because I was doing the post-processing for a lot of these people, I was like, wow, my lab is alive. No, but I realized that if I wanted to produce my own unique vision into the universe, I would have to do it myself. I would have to do the hard yards, learn how to do that. And this is not to say, in fairness, that there is any shame on any artist that paints using astrophotos, because astrophotography is difficult, is expensive, and it is not for everyone in any way.
I agree.
And in the same way that painting is not for everyone. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's, you know, it's like expecting someone that is an actor to also write the screenplay. Not everyone's a writer, but some people can act. It's kind of like that kind of thing.
You have to be a triple threat or something.
But I was like, I can't be having it. So I realized, I was just working off other people's artwork. I was making derivative artwork. I was never making anything truly unique. And I mean, I understand when I say truly unique, obviously it's the same object. It's been imaged a million times, but the way that we do it, the way that we pull out details, like how we see things, can be very different.
It's so unique.
Depending on, so I was like, I got to do this. I got to get it done. So I spent so much time going through the pains of everything. Like, you know, like I had to learn how to like pull a line, had to learn how to like flitzel, had to learn how to do all of that stuff, had to learn how to focus, had to learn how to build a rig. Oh my gosh. Oh, I had to learn how to find back focus.
I mean,
my gosh. Oh.
That's why you marry a guy to help you do it. So when I forget, I'm like, Antoine.
It's funny because like, especially like, I think it's getting better, but in the past it was like, I got a problem, but the only solution, and it's a random problem, it just happens with this particular type of mount, and the only way
it's
to
so
like,
easy now, compared to before.
But like, you know, like old, you know, you have a mouse, you plug it into a USB, it just works. No, you have to reconfigure the USB, and the only way you can find it is like page 10 of a weird forum somewhere on a specific thread. That is like, it's like weird stuff like that, which I feel like it made it so user unfriendly. And I can't wait for all of that to be done with, for people just to be able to get a telescope and just do the thing and not have to do all of that BS, because it's so unnecessary. Like, it doesn't make you a good astrophotographer. It makes you patient. That's what it does.
Yeah. I agree,
The equipment is getting easier and easier. Every single year it's like becomes so easy.
All of the time it's becoming more simple. And it's so good to see that. There's still a bit of learning that goes behind it, but definitely not like it used to. So I completely agree with you. I think people always have a gripe, and if you want to fight me, you can fight me. But I say smart telescopes are a really good way, especially if you're just getting started. You're not sure you want to spend all the money. And like, this is not me saying go buy a smart telescope. This is me saying remember other people's journey is not your journey. Just because they seem to be taking the easy way in your eyes doesn't make it any less. You can still start the same way. You still got to learn how to process photos. So
And Film Noir says back focus is the worst problem. I would say tilt is 10 times worse.
I agree.
And then back focus.
Number one, number two.
For me, tilt would always kill me, always.
Yeah, since tilt. It's just lots of really random things. And for me, I don't look at it as, oh, this is a smart telescope. I look at all the others and I'm like, these are dumb telescopes. They're stupid. But also, I think
fight us, people in the comments.
It's like the lack of standardization in the industry is hurting everyone. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think it's beneficial that you can't just say, I mean, I understand that different systems have different needs, but you're like, oh, you have to get this one spacer
built for this specific one. Like, oh, is it us?
I don't know.
You can only get
hold
it on
Also, it's fine now.
genuine.
Okay.
You
Sorry,
froze
you
for like 2
froze for a
seconds, but it's fine.
Oh.
You're back now.
Oh, I'm back. Sorry. Hi.
But this is, you know, I already had prefaced this question before with you, but I wanted to ask from our personal questions. Shh, Antoine, how do you deal with some of the negative and sometimes explicit comments that you get for just posting stuff that you love? Because it is just so crazy. I made the mistake of reading comments, and someone made it a point to tell me that they no longer follow us because I felt like talking back, but this way you don't read the comments, and I apologize. I really do.
Yeah, comments give you
Ferocious
eyeball
time for me.
cancer. Look, here's the thing. At first, I used to cry all the time. I know this is so sad, and I don't expect people to give me pity, but like I would cry frequently about it because people always say the worst stuff. I mean, I would just get targeted by, and for nothing. Like I'm like super nice and friendly online. Just for posting my passion and being me, holding, how dare I hold an artwork, or how dare I stand next to my artwork? How dare I have a shape that is not a potato?
And it's mostly towards women, because me, usually it's fine, but Dahlia, when she posts something, usually it's like, your makeup is too strong.
Someone said I had too much makeup.
I think you should put more on, honestly.
Your left ear is too long.
I said the same thing. But yeah,
Look,
I thought
I would rather have
really
too much makeup
to
than be
ask.
basic, okay?
Nails, like...
Look, here's the thing. I used to get really upset. I used to cry about it frequently. But I know this just sounds terrible, but I've just come to a point where I've heard everything so many times that I don't really care anymore. Ooh. So it just doesn't bother me anymore. So, but I did recently have a really funny situation where I got, actually, I get it all the time. People asking me for photos of my feet. Sorry. Excuse me, puppies. And what I did is I bought some tiny feet and I painted the nails and I put my fingers in them and like I posed them and I was like, foot picture.
Oh yeah, that's sexy.
Like the truth is that firstly, I think the most important thing if you're a female in this industry is to immediately block anyone that does any of those things. There is absolutely no sense in trying to talk someone around or trying to convince them not to do it or all of that stuff. And firstly, because what happens, if you tell someone off, they can then become super resentful, even though they were being the absolute a-hole in the first place. And you just don't need to have that in addition to whatever it is, because I had people that would then hunt me down on every platform to harass me because they had made really inappropriate comments about me and my body, and then I said, hey, you're being out of line, and then shared their post, and obviously everyone dogpiled on them because they were, whatever, and then they would hunt me down. So it would be like, oh gosh, they would just make account after account. So I just got used. I just had to put it out of my mind. Right. And each time I get a new insult, I feel really sad. But then I'm like, okay, the next time I'm like, oh well, this is a bit boring. I've heard this before. And I know that's not great advice. I know it isn't,
but it is the real the reality
it is the
of it.
Truth of it. Yeah.
I want to take this time because I didn't get to make this presentation at Okitex because we were unfortunately ill, but I had prepared a presentation about women in astrophotography, and a lot of it was something I really, really felt needed to be said, and maybe I'll post it at some other time on the Galactic Hunter channel. But I'm a part of like a group of women astrophotographers. I've talked about it a lot, and just the things that they've told me, because they're not, I would consider you also to be a person kind of more public facing, whereas these women are kind of not, on the same kind of level. We are not saying of popularity, I mean.
I know. So, yeah.
So because of that, they wouldn't talk to me in the way people wouldn't talk to me in the way that they would talk to these women. And, you know, when I started reading the comments, I'm like, oh geez. But, you know, this is more about, like, their technical skill and, like, you know, questioning things that our male counterparts in this hobby would not face. Like, you would never say that to Bray Falls. You would never say that to Trevor.
Look, the only revenge is just to do such good work that they cannot deny how good you are.
But it is a real problem. Thank you for talking about that a little bit. I just thought that because you are also our first female guest. And you
I feel like also, for you and I also, we have this benefit of having a giant platform. So it does two things. Firstly, it puts you in the spotlight so you get more. But then, you know, it's like you have a repercussion. You're like, hey, you know, if you're going to be an absolute a-hole, I'm going to post your stuff. I'm not going to, you know, do whatever it is. I'm just going to show, you know, I'm going to put the spotlight on you for a second. So, you know, but I do feel for women that don't necessarily have that, you know, they're having that. And what do they do? Who do they turn to? It's really hard. So I wish I had a good solution for it, but the only one is to, and it's not necessarily to block and ignore, like that's so flippant obvious, of course do that.
Yes.
But it's just to, I just focus on the fact that I would never for 1 second want to swap places with these people. I would never wish that I was in their shoes. I would always, you know, and I feel like if you never want to change places with someone, they've instantly lost. Like there's nothing that they have that is good and to offer. And yeah,
very true.
But yeah, I would say I just never engage. Instant block and ghost. And also like when I get people, because I get a lot of guys that send me very explicit images, which is fine, but a lot of them have like kind of a kink for humiliation. So I will never then repost that stuff because you can just tell when a guy is into that. They just want to be posted and shamed.
Do you get weird pictures sent to you?
Not yet. Not to me.
Oh, really? Oh.
No.
I haven't found any women or men sending any.
That's not an invitation, everybody.
It's not great. Honestly, I don't know why they're always very unattractive. Active one yet. It's quite a shame, really.
Ooh, it's getting hot in here.
So you do look and scroll through them, huh?
Oh, yeah, that's a 0 out of 10 again. Gosh, man.
But yeah, thank you for answering that. Like, I just feel like it's so good for us to talk about. Thank you for letting us talk about that.
Of course.
And not saying a thing.
Thank you.
Because this is ladies' time, and for everybody else out there unaware. Now, if you didn't know, now you know.
Yes.
But we do have questions from viewers.
From viewers, yeah. So we
can like rapid fire these if you want.
Oh yes. Down.
we have 1 hour of your time. I don't want to like go over.
You can have more if you want.
So first one, what is your favorite type of space object to paint and why? For example, galaxies, nebulae, moon.
I really love planetary nebulae. I love all of the colors. I just think anything that can be shot in narrowband is like even if I lived in a bottle one, I'd still want to shoot narrowband because it's still so pretty. Mm-hmm. But I do like galaxies, but I feel like gosh, you know, you just have to be in such dark skies.
But to paint though?
But I'm going to be sending a telescope out to Dark Skies, New Mexico. It's like a remote observatory there. So, and they're super friendly. There is a remote observatory crew in New Mexico that are not so friendly that I am not going with. But I'm going with
everybody else can connect the dots.
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing that. But yes, anything with masses of color. I just think it's so pretty. I can't believe it. It's amazing.
Like orange and red.
I was scrolling through your whole Instagram profile and I was just like, damn, I love all these colors. So what's easier for you, to paint digitally or with a brush?
So here's the thing, right? So digitally is technically easier in the sense of like, wow, there's an undo and I can save and all of this stuff. But what happens is I do it way more detailed. Like I will do like 100 times more detail in my digital drawings. You can zoom and zoom and zoom and zoom, and I'm there with like doing it in 1 pixel. Do you know what I mean? I'm going like over the top. Whereas you don't necessarily get the luxury to do that with painting, although I do try. I do try as best as I can. So it's like whatever you gain in the ability to like, have, you can use, for instance, you can have brushes. Brushes are really different, as in like in Photoshop, you can have different brushes.
Ones too.
Those are helpful, but you can also do that in life. You know what I mean? I have like, you can use sponges. Sponges are great to paint with. You know what I paint with, Dahlia? And this is what I recommend to everyone: makeup brushes. Oh my gosh. Best thing ever. It doesn't have to be a painting brush in order for you to paint with. And makeup brushes are phenomenal because they're good for blending things, even over crepey surfaces, lumpy, they're just there to give you the good blend. So when you're making space art, you don't, and honestly, Dollar Tree brushes, man. Like you do not need you don't need to spend a lot of money to do it. No. So that's my little hack everyone should take.
That's amazing. Only on the Galactic Show, everybody.
Yeah.
So what's on your mind as you paint? Like, do you think about anything specific while you do it?
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's so weird. It's like I sink into the image. So it's like a very meditative. I don't want to be like, I'm not like there, like, maybe a bit. Oh, but
is it like yoga where you have no thoughts, just vibes?
It is. It's not just existence, but it's like existence. Like it's like I'm in the painting. It's like, often I sit quite close. So I'm like, the whole field of view is my just space. It's just me and a black canvas and the void, and I'm pulling out the light, and that's what I'm doing. And I'll see different shapes, and I'll be like, oh, there's a shape there, and I'll do this kind of stuff, so I'll do, and it's really, honestly, I'm just thinking about, why does anything exist? Like, why is there not nothing? And I know some people will be like God, and some people will be like the Big Bang, but whatever happened before both of those things is still somewhat of a mystery. And I think about that a lot.
Total zen.
I guess if you think about your groceries in your painting, it won't turn out good.
Yeah. I guess that wouldn't be good.
You want to do the next one?
Yeah. What's your first astro painting or photo? And what does it look like compared to your latest?
Oh my gosh, my first stuff was so bad. And you know what? It's so sweet and here's the thing, guys, if anything that's worth doing is worth doing badly,
Hey, that's called progress, baby. Progress.
I sucked when I started. Oh my gosh. Which was only, in fairness, 7 years ago. Yeah. I had a high learning curve. Let me see if I've got a picture of it to ping you. Did I send it to you already? No, probably not. I don't think I remember doing it. But it was bad. I want people to know it was bad. I was terrible. And everyone is terrible when they start. And I get like a million people that look at my artwork and they're like, I could never draw a stick figure. I'm like, I still can't do stick figures, so.
You're like, I go with the abstract, thank you.
Oh, I wish I had a picture of it to show you. I just can't seem to see it on my phone. I thought I'd have it in my favorites, but I promise you and I assure you that it was not good. It was positively terrible, and that's okay.
So what happened to it?
I love
Did you burn it, or?
I still got it.
Oh, okay.
It's the only painting from that collection that I refused to sell. I kept it because it's like, the first one.
It's so bad, but it's like it inspires you to do better.
It made. I mean, yeah.
That's why we keep our old photos on Instagram, like as.
Right. Oh, do you?
I think so.
Are we super duper proud of our first ever Pleiades? No, it's a bunch of stupid dots. There's not even any nebulosity. None of the blue stuff is there. But we were like, oh, dang, that's so sick.
It's precious, though. It's like precious in the way that you see like a kid with paper mache stuck to their head is precious. Do you know what I mean? It's like a starting point of something amazing.
Like,
but it's kind of cute.
It's a kind reminder, like, to don't get so mad about yourself where you are right now, because things can change.
Yeah, well, it's all about, like, I know a lot of people say to me, oh, you're just naturally gifted. And I'm like, no.
Didn't you just start this,
really is just practice.
7 years ago? Like, you started pretty, like, late. Like, that wasn't something you grew up doing, was it?
Mm-mm. So I did paint when I was like, when I say I did paint, oh, sorry. Can you hear that squeaky?
Yeah. It's okay.
Oh my gosh. I hid all the squeaky toys apart from one. And Vinny, come here. you want to see the puppies?
Ladies and gentlemen, the boys.
Come here. First, I stole the toy.
Nice.
What a
Nice.
meanie.
You should have turned the light down, like to be a meanie like earlier.
Hello.
Hello, fellas.
This is Vinny.
Nice. Hey, you're famous.
This is Colin.
Oh, Antoine Deleuze with some. Let's get close to the mic. Yeah. Thank you for letting us know, Victor. We'll get close to the mic.
Sorry, I'm like
So
screaming.
there's the
at
boys. I will put the toy there.
Nice.
Hopefully they don't bark at it for me.
And we have just
Well,
two.
Don't want
no,
them
just
painting.
one, because
One last question.
Sorry,
before we
what was
move
the
on.
question?
what
I'm
kind
sure there
of-
was a question.
what kind of tips do you have for someone who would like to start doing space paintings?
Oh, what was the question before that I missed because of the
Oh.
dogs?
No, that was we were talking about the latest.
No,
the first
when
and
you
the latest.
when you started, I think it was 8 years ago, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, like it was it was the end of beginning of 2016 I started painting. I did like a tiny little bit before, like I did it in school, like I mean whatever you call it,
Yeah,
elementary and junior high, something like that.
It's just like Ratatouille, where Gusteau's like, anyone can cook. You're like, anyone can paint.
Anyone can paint. It's true. Anyone
I
can
can't
paint.
paint. I can't show you that.
I do want to ask one question because we always ask. Sorry, last question.
Well, no, you forgot the one I just asked. The
Oh.
tips.
Tips, and then after that, something that people don't know about you that's not astro related.
Ooh, oh, exciting. Okay, so tips. Honestly, I started with Bob Ross, and I feel like it's such a good way to get into painting.
Legend.
And I know that it's not astro, but he does Aurora. He does Aurora tutorials. Go and do Aurora tutorial. Look, hey, do an Aurora tutorial, splatting some stars, and don't even bother about adding in the mountains if you must.
Boom.
That works just fine. But go and paint something. And I tell you what, you don't need expensive equipment. My first setup was like $10. Like, one of those multi-packs of like all the different colors of oil paint that's like
Yes.
$7 or something.
I've been
Get one of
there.
those. Get the cheapest canvas you can get. It does not have to be expensive. Like, what I mean? Like they do the little panels are like $2 or something. I used to paint with house painting brushes, as in like you would paint the walls. You don't need expensive gear. Or Dollar Tree brushes, as I said, that are excellent.
Oh, we love Dollar Tree.
That and a little bit of, make sure you've got some thinners and something to clean the brushes with after, and a bit of paper towel. That's it. That's all you need. You don't need anything else. Magic.
But I'm very curious now. What is the most expensive setup you have for painting? Like the crazy paintings, like your huge Andromeda, for example. Like,
some of my tubes of paint now are like over $1,000 a tube.
yeah. Oh, a tube. Oh wow.
Tube, yeah, they're expensive because they're all like hand ground pure pigments.
Wow.
So yes, I spent a lot of money on paint.
It's like astro. You can get good things with cheap
Just-
stuff,
yeah.
and then you upgrade. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, so
Same
it's
principles.
in fairness, it is a very big tube, but it's still it's like
Human size.
that's a lot of money for paint.
Yeah. And so last question was
Yeah, something about you not astro related that people might not know.
I have lots of things about me. My actual real job before, I was an artist, so I was a video game executive producer. I worked on many titles, including Warhammer 40k. Got to be the right kind of nerd to know what that means.
yeah.
I can see you in the comments, probably. I DJ'd and ran a record label and DJ'd all over the world. What else? Can I tell you? I almost got my solo pilot's license before I got my driving license. I learned how to fly glider planes.
Nice.
So like three crazy.
Yeah, I studied mechanical engineering at university, but I hated it because I had to hang around with loads of guys with plastic shirts and bad BO. That's my memory of it. I was drunk every day. And that's actually why I learned how to DJ because
I
anyway.
can't stand this anymore.
Well, it's, what? I was like, hey, I can go to a club and then someone will pay me, give me free drinks, and I get to choose the music. This is phenomenal.
Yeah, sounds
and
pretty cool.
I built a club up, like and it was like a dive bar. My first full residency was like a dive bar, but it was like a gigantic dive bar. It was like a 3,000 capacity venue. And yeah, when I started, there would be like 20 people in the room. And when I finished, as in like when I finished my residency, it would be every night we would play, and it would be like 2,000-3,000 people there every single night. And it was, sweat would drip off the ceiling. Oh my God, it was so, you'd have to wipe your feet on the way out. It was that kind of venue.
Oh my.
It was fun, though. Oh my gosh, it was
Did
fun.
you have like a badass DJ name? DJ Cat.
DJ Hard Kitty, actually. Ooh.
DJ what?
Hard Kitty.
Hard Kitty, yeah.
Really? Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's because
you're like
I moved on.
hard styler.
Yeah, I used to play hard style. So after I did like that intro of whatever, I played like I did like EDM and like R&B and urban stuff. And then like later on, I love playing hard techno or hard style. Nice. Hard. Offensive music that's bang, bang, bang. Don't listen to it while you're driving, because you obviously will get loads of speeding tickets.
This is so edgy for Astro.
But you do get the house cleaning done real quick if you get it on. It's great.
Okay.
So, but yes, I was a resident DJ in Sydney, Australia, at the Southern Hemisphere's largest hardstyle club. Massive Saturdays. Love that place. Still running. It's still going really good.
Pretty epic story.
So I miss DJing, but now I'm here in the US. I've been invited to play a few different places, so maybe I'll come back out.
Las Vegas is next.
Your title's going to change from Countess of the Cosmos to DJ Hard Kitty once again.
Right?
That's a pretty cool name.
But back to Astro, and this another chance for us to say, hey, if you do any super chat amount, you're entered into the raffle to win Cat's prize, which is this awesome LED desk mat of your choice. She said you
of
could
your
pick
choice. Yeah, I was
whichever
thinking
one you
anyone.
want. You like the moon? You got the moon.
And I have a couple of pictures here on my screen. It's super nice.
Peep that Stargazer merch.
Oh yes, also we can talk about that later. Yeah. And so Kat, let me just show everyone some pictures of your actual paintings. This is what we have downstairs, which is amazing. I think it's our all-time favorite. Very, very cool. Then she can paint auroras like this one. So cool. Thanks, Bob Ross.
Bob bless you, everybody.
That was an actual picture, right? The Rosette?
Yeah.
Okay.
What were you going to say? Actual picture?
Oh, the Rosette Nebula? I guess there's a delay.
Oh yeah, that's a paint. Yeah, that's a yes.
Love her.
And this
it's hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah, this one you call it an imaginary nebula, which is really cool. Like you just invent a nebula. It's really, really cool. Like that's looks like an actual thing.
Yeah, and it's funny because like I think it's called pareidolia, which is where you see things in objects, and everyone was like, "Ooh, I see like two things dancing, or I see like someone holding a baby," or do you know what I mean? And I was like, "Oh, I kind of like how
I see an evil elephant."
It's like extreme cloud spotting.
Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. And then quickly the moon here, super cool. Look at the size; it's insane.
I know, my God, and just like
just zoom in on them craters.
The darkness of the dark side of the moon. I'm like,
it's insane.
Yeah, that was one of my first. That's like one of my earlier moons, and I shot that in Australia actually.
Nice.
Oh yeah, that was a drawing. I drew that the lagoon, the hot lagoon. Yeah, it took me ages. Took me so long.
I think you told me some of your process is like a lot of grid work, and you just like painstakingly like.
Oh yeah.
When you're doing it from like an actual photograph.
Yeah, like it'll take 30 days. I was like, wow, it's almost quicker to go out and shoot it and process it, honestly.
Nice. So we'll talk about two targets right now.
Yes.
And that will be first M31, which is available right now to image, and Kat painted M31, which is completely insane. I think one of your most impressive picture. I mean, like this picture, yeah. This is probably one of the most impressive pictures out there of you painting. It's just mind blowing. And look at the size of this; it's insane. So how many days did you take to paint this?
That one took about 6 months, but because this one was a painting I did for Elon Musk at SpaceX.
No way. Oh.
And
Not Mr.
before he went interesting.
How kind of you
Elon Musk, the early days. And yeah, so it took me 6 months to paint it, and because the paint would dry, right? So paint would dry, and then it would be frustrating as hell. So I was like, "Ooh, I'll get this special large resin imported in from, I think, Poland or something, and it will slow the process down," which it did. However, like, I think I was like, honestly, I think it was like 6 weeks out from flying back to the US to deliver this to SpaceX, and I touched the canvas and it was still wet.
No,
and I can't transport it. And and it was the best painting I'd ever done, which is not this one, right? So, and I couldn't buy another canvas because this canvas was specially made. Even the wood had to be specially prepared because it's, you do not get like kiln dried wood that's 13 foot long. It just doesn't happen. And like, even then, the prepping of the canvas took a week. So I had to wipe the whole painting back with rags, with automotive thinners. And I had to like seal up my downstairs room because it was so strong, like that the fumes would go up through the house. I was like downstairs.
About that.
Yeah. And I had to like wipe it down, and I was crying because my granddad had died on that day as well. So it was like so traumatic. And like, I was like scrubbing the painting down, and then I repainted it in 2 weeks. And that is what you're seeing. Yeah. So it's the second time I painted it. And it's so funny because I have a photograph of me like passed out on the floor, and all you can see is my two little end of my toes and then this painting. And it's funny, I left the video games industry because I was so burnt out because of the, we would have crunch periods.
Oh yeah, I know
that were brutal. And I was like, damn, now I'm doing it again to myself. And then,
but now the villain is me.
Am I the drama? Oh shit, I'm the drama, aren't I? So, and then we had to, and literally, so the day that I had to fly, so I was flying to the UK for 2 weeks because my granddad had passed, so I had to go to the funeral. And then I was going to go from the UK to the US, and I was like, right, so I was shipping this canvas to it. So you take it off the frame, roll it, ship it like you would a rug, I guess. But as we were taking it down, because it was so heavy, because it's like Belgian linen canvas, and it was like thick with paint, that it sagged in the middle, and then we had like this little tear happen. And I was like, I didn't have time to deal with it, so I rolled it and I just popped it, and I literally like packed it and like left it on my doorstep and ran out to the taxi because I had to get to the airport to fly. Incredible. And then because I shipped it to a framing company, they framed it. And then as I turned up, and this was, when SpaceX had launched their Roadster up into space. So I knew I wanted to paint it into the painting, but I didn't have time. I couldn't figure out where I wanted to put it. And this little tiny tear was right in the center, right in the bottom, below below the galaxy, at the perfect point. So I painted over the damaged area with the like little silhouette of the Roadster, which is in the final piece that's hanging in SpaceX. And I remember like I was in with Gwen Shotwell, who's like the COO, and I was like, I tore the painting, but look, you can't see. It's just like, I would never know.
She's like, excellent.
That was stressful, but a nice story at the end.
I'd only been painting for a year and a half at that point. So I was like, what am I even doing? I've got no way. I'm still a bit like that now.
You know what? Fake it till you make it is such a real thing. So what an incredible story.
Heck yes.
And this one is different, right? This one on the... well, I guess there's a delay, so 1 second, you'll see it soon.
It's popping up in a second.
Actually, that one also, so that's obviously Andromeda Galaxy, but that one was actually painted for Gwen Shotwell's private residence. So, and that's on above her fireplace and her main room.
Wow.
Gorgiana.
Yeah, how cool is that? I was like,
Super
man.
cool.
I feel very lucky. She was like, I must say, hand on heart, she is one of the most phenomenal, impressive businesswomen I have ever met. She is so powerful. She's so assertive. She has such the biggest heart, and is just the most amazing listener. And also, I nearly got tackled by her security guards because I I don't shake hands. I hug
You
people.
hug? Oh my god.
So I was like, hi. And she, yeah, I nearly got floored. But anyway,
Secret
fortunately
Service.
step back, like, oh shit.
You have so many crazy stories, it's insane.
You're like, dang.
And if you guys want to capture M41, here's a picture that we took. I think it was 6.5 hours, but you can capture it right now. It's up in the sky, so go for it before it disappears in a few months.
Oh, it's
And,
so pretty. Look
get
at
a
that.
nice
Look at all the
picture.
dust lanes.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely
cool.
phenomenal. That is such a beautiful photograph. Wow.
Thanks. And then
You know what is amazing though is that it was only recently, honestly, in human history, and that we even knew that there were other galaxies. There was a whole period, like, how there are people that are here today that have never existed where there wasn't the internet, or have never existed where
yeah,
people
it's
just
insane.
right. There
My
was
niece and
time
nephew.
when there was no one knew there was other galaxies. We were literally it, and now all of a sudden, and I think was it Hubble that had seen?
Oh, that one famous picture with like, oh, all of these dots here are galaxies.
Yeah. Oh well, the deep field, of course. But I'm thinking
Like
like
Mr.
Edwin
Hubble, yeah.
Hubble, who had
Was this
first
the one?
observed and said, "Oh wow, that's a galaxy. That's not
Because
even a."
before that, like even like Messier and everyone else that discovered everything, they all thought it was all nebulae back then.
Yes.
Because,
Incredible.
for example, this one was described as a nebula by Messier, but of course it's
But
a
it
galaxy.
was a galaxy. Insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just did such a good job, guys. It's so beautiful. I haven't yet imaged Andromeda. I'm really excited about
Yeah,
giving
right
that
now
a
it's
shot.
perfect time.
Yeah, I would love to. I always love redoing stuff. I feel like that's my
Oh.
favorite part of this. Is like if we've done it before, why not try it again?
Yes. Yeah.
And so the
And
second
now with
time...
less sensor tilt.
Oh yeah, no tilt, please. Everything but that.
Don't ever say that word in front of Antoine.
I die. And the second type of object that I wanted to ask you about was when you paint white field, for example, Milky Way stuff, do you think it's much more difficult or is it the same as a
Oh
nebula
man,
or galaxy?
I really am not great at painting rocks. I'll be honest.
It looks
So when I
great though.
paint, yeah. So oh yeah. Wait. The reason why I'm saying wait is because it's in the room with us right now. God, it looks like
Oh.
it's an apparition. It's with us tonight.
Wait, are you going to get it?
No, it's like literally here. So I'm thinking I might just like turn the camera around.
Oh, we can, yeah.
Turn
do that.
around. Okay, let's give it a go. Okay, I'm not sure it's going to be well lit, but we're going to give it a go. Okay.
Okay, let me change back to this camera. Okay, let's see.
Okay. Oh my god, it's so ominous.
This is extreme behind the scenes.
Hey, Mac Murdoch,
Wait,
Nico Carver, nice to see you guys.
see it?
Oh yeah, nice. Oh,
Wow!
wait,
Sorry,
are you
everybody's
redoing
ears.
it then, or?
No, I think it's been a work in progress, yeah? It's something you've
Oh.
continuously been working on, because I think the people in the photo are people you know, right? The shadows?
Yeah. Those people are my clients, actually. So this is it. I think it's just phenomenal. This is a family portrait. They wanted something to like commemorate their family and having a kid and all that kind of stuff, but they didn't want to have like a cheesy,
This one,
the one where they're all like this, like the person behind is, the prom. No,
prom
they didn't want
photo.
that. So this was photographs that they'd taken from their holiday. They went to New Zealand and they took these photographs. So I then took those images and I did all the post processing to those images of the mountains, and then I shot the Milky Way. I shot that Milky Way when I was in Australia, and I then edited, processed it, created these. I always create like these images as a sample image, because I know I'm going to be painting this stuff for like, sometimes people will be waiting years for me to get around to it, or for me to paint it, because each painting takes like 6-7 months, because I have to let the layers dry in between. So, which is fine, whatever, it is what it is. It's a laborious process, but it's one full of love and appreciation for the cosmos.
craft.
And
Yeah.
it's craft.
It looks so nice.
But it's what makes it special, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like sitting and working with this piece that, you know, someone has something on their wall, and that's why, you know, I don't do it very often. I'm with that person and I'm working on that thing for a long time. That's why I always make a digital artwork first, so that we can have an agreement, because I don't want to do that and then we'd be like, maybe have a little change. Hell no.
Yeah, no way.
But yeah, so that also, the, you know, the Milky Way that's in that was my wide field shot that I took from a Bortle 1. Whew! I'll tell you what, it is
in
such an
Victoria,
experience,
right?
man.
I
Everyone
like
is-
the image right now. Yeah, it looks very nice.
Everyone
So
needs
it's
to
this really
experience it.
interesting. Because then you have a second one that I love as well. It's this one here. That looks really cool too, with the foreground.
It'll take a second to pop up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one over Sapa, Sapa or whatever. Yeah, I love the Milky Way so much. I think it's just phenomenal, and obviously it's. So here's the thing: whenever you're making an artwork or a photograph or whatever, I always enhance the colors and the sparkles and all that kind of stuff, because the experience of being under the Milky Way is very different, because it's 360. You're enveloped in it, and you have to create that 360 experience in something that's this big.
Yeah.
Right. So in order to make it feel like it feels when you're really under the stars, and it is something. And I dare say there are probably people in the chat, I hope, and probably that have never seen the Milky Way under like a Bortle 1 or a Bortle 2 at least. And
very overwhelming
it
and
just takes
gorgeous.
breath away. It's like the starlight is so bright that it pierces your soul.
Oh, yeah,
I really
insane.
feel like that. I feel like if you ever have an opportunity to like take a holiday anywhere, instead of being like, oh, what destination should I go? Try to go and see the stars. Like, do it once in your lifetime before you die, because it is the most extraordinary thing.
Our first time in the Bottle 1, I remember I stepped out of the car and I was almost scared because it was so overwhelming. It was scary. Like, it was really weird.
Yeah,
A very strange sensation.
Make constellations out. Like, there's just so many stars.
It was just scary to me. Like, oh.
But I know we're coming up almost on an hour, so.
Oh, really?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
we can go over, can't we? Or are we not allowed to go over? Are we banned?
No, we can't. No. Of course
we can go over. I don't mind. Hey, we're having a great time. This is cool.
It's so fun to chat.
We can show the Milky Way we took. Our last Milky Way picture was at the Grand Canyon.
Yes.
And it looked amazing there.
I love this one.
Look at all this air glow. The air glow was amazing.
For me, it's so rainbow.
And that was a single shot, by the way. Just no stacking. Single shot.
No stack?
That's the power of Bottle 1. It's insane.
Damn.
And the orange ball there, it's not the sun, by the way. It's a light from a city. I guess, I don't know which city it is, but whatever city is there, that was a light pollution. Yeah. Maybe Vegas, I don't know.
No, but, it's all the opposite direction.
And Andromeda is right here. Yep.
Are you in the northern side or this? Oh, wait.
We're on the
southern side. Okay, yeah, because that's the tail end of the Milky Way. It's so beautiful.
That was cool, yeah.
It's
Wait, is that Andromeda between the little things?
Yeah, right here.
In the middle.
This is Andromeda, and here is M33, is a triangulum galaxy. Very tiny.
Yeah. Oh, how cute. I love that. Yay. I was like, wait. I was like, I spy something.
Looks familiar.
I was like, zoom in.
If you guys I'm trying to zoom. I can't zoom in, slightly. If you guys are trying to find M33 when you find M31, it's very simple. You just look at this bright star here and just do the same distance. So you just
bam.
one jump, two jumps, same distance from the big star.
Loves star hopping. I never got the hang of it, so that's a very him thing. I will say now is the last chance for the raffle. So
no, because they still have two chances.
Yeah, but we still got to talk about what's in the sky.
Yeah, really quickly, let's do that right now, so it's done.
Stars, that's what's in the sky.
Hey,
that's true.
Good stuff for what's in the sky that you can photograph right now.
So quickly, 5 objects you guys can photograph right now. Number 1 is NGC 7635, which is a bubble nebula. Let me find it really quick. This object is really nice. If you have a small telescope, it's perfect because you can also include the lobster claw in there. The image is so huge it won't load. Okay. And so yeah, the Bubble Nebula is very nice to capture. There's M52, the cluster, the open cluster M52 right next to it. So, and the Lobster Claw Nebula here.
Dust, man. Just
I love
extraordinary.
One more object you can capture is the Cocoon Nebula. We have an old picture of that, but this one is still not too bad. It's kind of old, but Cocoon Nebula, make sure you frame it. Don't center it, but frame it so that you have the whole tail in it. So for example, here you can frame it to the bottom left or whatever corner you want. So the whole tail shows because there is a dark tail. There's also so much HA in the background and some O3, which you cannot see here, but if you have a monochrome camera, you can get it.
You can definitely do it.
Then the Pac-Man Nebula would be the third one. The Pac-Man Nebula is NGC281. This one is also a good target for monochrome, but also for OSC. And there's so much HA around it and within it. So very nice object to capture right now.
Love her.
Ooh.
So colorful.
This was like, I think 60 hours. I think they.
Yeah, I think that was recent.
4 out of 5 is a Stephan's Quintet.
Stephan's Quintet.
If you like galaxies, what is it?
It's a chain.
Where did I put it?
Stephan's Quintet.
Well, I think they all know what it looks like anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, if you guys want, Macaron's. No, Stephan's Quintet.
Stephan's.
Yeah, I don't have the. I know it's here somewhere. And lastly, you can get something that I discovered a long time ago from Nico Carver, and it's SH2-129/OU4, the Flying Bat Nebula and the Squid Nebula. We don't have that one yet, but that's a great target to capture as well right now.
Also, Nico, if you're in these comments, so you might be hearing from us. You didn't hear that from me.
Someone asked, when are we gonna have Nico here? Don't worry, guys, it's planned. It's just we have a huge plan because we do it like only once every month or so. So we have a huge list of people who want to see in the show, but it takes a while to.
But also, it's a surprise every time.
Yeah,
so
we have to keep it a surprise.
we're not going to tell you.
So yeah, now would be the good time for if you guys.
The flying bat.
Oh, the flying bat, yeah.
The flying bat and squid, which is so beautiful,
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah, if you guys want the prize today, I think it's one of your last chances because next is going to be the trivia. And so if you guys want to win Kat's amazing creation, here's a LED desk mat, which you can see on your screen. It's so cool. And it changes colors too. So you can have the one of your choice.
Whatever your vibe is.
And it's super cool.
Whatever your vibe is, you got it.
So you can enter the super chat and we'll pick one lucky guy.
And for late September stuff happening, the moon and Saturn. That is going to be at its best September 26th. So
yeah,
now's your chance.
It won't be too far, so you can see Saturn pretty close to the moon in a few days.
And if you're a diehard, you already knew that.
Alright, so next I think is trivia.
Oh my god, it's everybody's favorite part where I take my phone and I go boop, 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 boop.
Yeah,
the pad is really cool. Are you ready for trivia, Kat?
I'm ready. I'm terrible at trivia. I play every week, obviously, like in the chat, and I'm like, I can't do it. So I'm sorry in advance. I'm going to fail.
These are all questions that you should know nothing, probably crazy. So
it's funny because everyone always says they're going to fail, but they always ace it. So
I know everybody's got an A+, A's at least this whole time. All right.
Hang on, let me make sure I have my.
Please bring up the trivia.
Okay. I can do the first one?
Yes.
Alright, get your app ready. Alright, Kat.
Okay.
What do you paint on the very first video you have on your YouTube channel?
What did I paint on my very first the eclipse?
That's right. See? It's simple so far. So if you guys want to see a complete tutorial on how to paint the eclipse, Kat has it on her YouTube channel, which is really cool.
Yes, you recently started adding those videos, so exciting. Next question. You once delivered a painting that glowed in the dark to a professor. What was their name?
Professor Brian Cox.
Wow, you're so good.
Yay. Also, I did one for Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Nice.
But I don't have a photograph of that. Yeah. Way for that. But he was really sweet.
Love him.
You know, they say like never meet your heroes, but he was
Yeah,
genuinely
nice.
one of the nicest people. Yeah, love
And
him.
if you guys didn't know, Brian Cox is a professor of particle physics in the School of Physics and Astronomy in Manchester, University of Manchester. So.
I mean, with this smile, you can tell he's very nice.
Yeah, he's got a great smile. I was like, dang.
He's got great hair, man. I like
Also,
one secret.
Stylish. Next question.
Wait, are you sure about this month here? Okay, making sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Which astrophotographer and dog dad got married last year in July with you?
Ian.
I just want to let everybody know I attended,
Me
but
too.
by video.
Online, yes.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
we
we
saw
had
it.
like the tiniest. We had like
You look so
I think
great.
only
It was-
9 people.
It was so sweet.
Yeah, it
The
was
stars
nice.
aligned that night.
And Ian is a
It
good
was
friend. It's
amazing.
amazing.
I could not hear a thing, but I was like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Oh my gosh. It's because everyone was like talking on the computer and it was like so noisy. So I said mute it, but I didn't mean like mute us. I was like mute them. But whatever. I was like too
Yeah,
busy
we
saying
sent
my
a
vows.
text, about this, yeah.
It was funny.
Okay, next. Oh, you can go.
Okay, next question number 4. It's been 2 years since a certain female space artist collaborated with a female cosmology scientist from UC Irvine. What was the name of that collab?
Oh, it's so exciting. Her name was Sophia Gadnasa, and we were making her dark matter black hole interaction artwork. What was the question? Like, what was it called? Oh yeah,
Yes.
Sophia X Cathrin. But it was because, right, it's a really heartfelt story because she's doing a PhD, right? So obviously when you're doing your PhD, it's like basically like a full-time job. You're researching,
Yes.
and on the side then you have to do like teaching assistant type stuff so that you can pay your way. But you don't want to do that full time because you're already doing a full-time job, which is your research.
Right.
So she'd lost her grant and then was like basically like she put up a tweet and said, look, I'm probably gonna have to like give up my research because I cannot afford to survive. And it broke my heart so much that I
Yeah.
sent her a message and said, let's do some project together. So I took her research and then I created artwork based on it because it was dark matter black holes, right? So it's like it's not really something that you could see. It's sort of something that has to be visualized. And then we sold that work, and then I gave her enough, and it was 10 times the amount of grant money that she needed.
Oh wow.
Which is amazing. And I
Yeah,
love
it was
that.
a lot. I raised a lot for her. So that
We
meant that
have
she
a piece of that art.
Oh, you do?
Oh, that was yeah, that was.
We do.
Interesting.
It's the black hole. It looks like kind of like a bubble, and it's all purpley and beautiful.
Was it
Yes.
this-
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah, it's
No
downstairs
way.
in our living room.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So we the way we do it is because it was all done like digitally, but we would have Zoom calls, and then we'd have like a bunch of astrophysics professors, and we'd be like, yeah, it would swirl a bit like this. So I'd like do something, and they'd be like, not like that, like, you know, like, and then I'll change it, and they'd be like, oh yeah, but it'd be a little bit more squishy, and then eventually we had this piece. We like did several meetings like that. And then like it would be just me and her, and then she would like come back and she's like, okay, right, I've shown it to these other professors. And it was really interesting because she had to visualize all of a sudden what was
Right.
going on. It like, and I asked loads of interesting questions because I was trying to make it look as accurate as it would be, given that it's something you can't see and we don't really know what it is. But
Yeah, exactly.
it was so cool. What a cool project. And the fact that, you know, we managed to make a difference, and then also got to talk about her research a lot. It was super cool. I
We
love
love
Sophia.
Women in STEM. Just saying. To Sophia and Cathrin.
Oh yeah.
Aw, thanks,
Exciting.
guys.
I think you're next.
Oh, I have the next question.
I don't think we have the right answer for this, but we'll see.
Oh yeah, I don't know I want to know the answer.
Oh.
How many countries have you lived in?
Oh, a bunch. I've lived in England. I've lived in Greece. I've lived in America, Australia.
Oh, we just.
And then like I spent a lot of time on the road traveling, working while I was traveling. So, you know, I did like Jamaica, Antigua. I love Antigua. That was a lot of fun.
Oh my god.
And like a bunch of other ones.
Okay,
Alright.
well,
Yay!
we guessed 3, but that's only where I could clock you as I knew you. Let's
Next would be.
go for it.
What are the names? That's too easy. What are the names of your two funny boy doodles?
Oh, I got Vinny and Colin, and like I used to call Vinny Skinny Vinny, but now he's big. We call him Voluptuous Vinny.
I'd like to do this.
Beautiful.
Oh,
It's
look
a
at
whole
that.
family shot.
Very cute.
Oh,
Miss you, Ian. Sorry you couldn't be here. You can watch it a later time. We did acknowledge
We love you.
Oh, they're my
So
boys.
cute.
Colin Vinny looks so sad. He's the one I'm holding. Looks so sad. He's not
Yeah.
he's normally very
It's
happy.
like, what am I doing here?
He's like, oh god.
Next
Okay, that
question
one is
for
hard.
you.
It is hard.
The Rosette Nebula is a feature in your store. Do you know the designation of this deep sky object? I'll give you a clue.
It's a bit tricky.
NGC.
That's the easy
I've
part.
got no idea. I've got zero idea. Honestly, I've got
Oh
none.
no.
That's a tricky
NG3
one.
something? I don't know.
Because it has several names too, so.
It's okay.
It's like you know astronomy. Name every star.
Right?
I don't know who can like.
So the answer would be NGC 2237.
Oh, is it? Oh, cool.
I wouldn't have
Yeah,
I know
known
it-
in
I know it
fairness,
has,
every
like-
time I've got a terrible memory. I've got a terrible memory for names. So
Yeah,
like I
two-
can't
two-
remember. I remember people's faces vaguely.
Because it's
But
both
yeah.
2237 and 2244 because one is a cluster, one is a nebulosity. Like it's a bit tricky, yeah.
There you go.
But both work.
Yay.
No.
It was a trick question, that's why. Okay. Okay.
Next.
What
We have three more.
What year did you begin showcasing your interest in cosmic art on Instagram? Ooh.
Well, hopefully it was like 2015, 2016. I guess it was 2016 when I really started, but I think the first one was kind of a little bit spacey, and it was like in December of 2015.
Oh,
Wow, you even got the I was going to say bonus points if you know the month. Yes, December 20.
Good job.
You know why though? It's because that's when I quit my video games job. I did. Ah, that's my first scream. It's because I went and I quit my job in like November ish, and then or October anyway. I was like doing, going back in and just helping them as we were doing the changeover, and then we went to Peru, and then we went and did like a big ayahuasca ceremony. We did like 4 or 5 ceremonies. And then obviously got very connected to the cosmos and came back, and I was like, I have to paint.
I gotta do this.
Nice.
You got to do this. So yeah, that was
your very first post.
That's why I know the
amazing.
day.
I love that
Humble
you know
beginnings.
that. That's amazing. But yeah, correct. So I mean,
Aw.
technically that bumps you up into all correct answers.
Almost.
because
Oh,
you got
nice.
the bonus.
Well, yeah. There's 2 last questions. Okay. We don't have the answer for this one, but you can
But I
tell us.
want to know.
Where is the weirdest place you DJ'd?
Oh, okay. So I DJ'd in a police station once.
What?
Yeah. I DJ'd in a police station, and so my housemate's dad was a police officer, and they were like having like, they had like inside the police station was like I guess a community room type thing, where they were like hosting a party for their kid or whatever, and all the kids were like sneaking out of the room and sneaking to the toilets, and they were getting drunk. And then they were sneaking back, and I was like, ballsy decision. You're in a police station, guys, and you're 100% underage.
There's nothing they
wow.
love more than breaking the rules.
That's a really
I wasn't, obviously. I
place to
was,
DJ.
but
You're like,
yeah, I
I'm too
remember
good.
that very.
Oh my goodness. Well,
And you can see here Kat DJing in her natural habitat.
DJ Hard Kitty.
Oh, I even have a NASA shirt on. Then look at me
Yeah.
go.
I
That's
know.
so perfect.
Aw,
You
on
just
brand.
you knew.
And last question, you can go there and say it.
Last question. What is the name of the podcast where you are a co-host?
Oh, I have a podcast called Art Wisdom Podcast, and it's basically where I teach. So here's a problem. There's so many people that love doing artwork, whether it's space art, whether it's astrophotography, but they don't know how to make money with it. And I think that that's a crying shame. I know that some people want to keep things as hobbies. That's fine. Obviously not for you, but I feel like some people's day jobs are just such a grind and such a drudge, and it kills them every day that they do them. And if I can help just one person turn what they absolutely love, and so that they can do that full time and share their passion full time, I feel like I've won, because
I love that.
I just feel like the world
You're not a
needs
gatekeeper.
more people that can follow their passion, you know, and plus, you know, you make some money from your astro stuff, you can buy more equipment.
That was the correct answer.
Good.
Yeah, so you know what it's like. There's always
amazing.
a bigger scope.
So that was it for the trivia. But
Yeah,
pretty
oh my
good job,
gosh.
actually.
Good job, guys.
For
In the comments, I mean, because you guys were also trying to answer that too. Cat.
you guys, can you count the raffles and we can do the
Yes.
spin wheel? In the meantime, I can look for some questions in the chat while you count the raffle.
Oh, can I tell you
entries.
about Ian's clothing as well?
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
we've
I
made-
see you.
So yeah, I'm wearing it. It's a Stargazer brand. You'll probably see this around, this little logo. I'm very small, but it's like a little campfire, and but the flames are stars, and it's all about encouraging people to go out in the dark and adventure in the dark. So it's our little nighttime adventure brand. And all the money goes into helping us make observatories available for the public. So the idea is, and right now, like Ian would be here, but he is now out in Columbus, Georgia.
He's
with,
doing outreach.
Yeah, he's got like a flipping 24-inch dog or something ridiculous. It looks like wheeling around a giant bin. And they are, yeah, and they're just showing, giving people the first looks at stuff, and it's amazing that people can just be so inspired. And he tells me this really beautiful story, and it makes me want to cry every time. Is it because he used to do this beforehand, and there was this old lady that was like looking through the scope, and I don't know how old she was. Let's say she was like early 70s or something, and she was there for like ages and ages, and they were looking at the moon. They were looking at the Terminator line of the moon, so you could see all the beautiful craters. And she pulled away, and like she had tears rolling down her face, and she was like, "In all my years of life, I have never seen the moon like this before." And she was just so moved by how beautiful it was, and it's just like, so it gives me chills thinking about it. But the way that we are funding it is we make these really beautiful t-shirts, which incidentally, it's like this one is the women's one, and it's like Lululemon, but way better because it sponsors astronomy outreach. But yeah, we're doing that, and then we're also doing like remote observatories that people can access as well. But also, if you want to become part of our Stargazer tribe, you know, if you go to stargazer.com and just join us on a little mission. Also, I did all the design work and logo work.
I love the logo
I
so
love
much.
the logo.
Me too, yeah.
I'm biased, but I think it's pretty cool.
I have two Stargazer hats, and one is in Dalia's car, one is in my car, because I wear only that.
And I think
That's my live stream hat, but I have Stargazer hat.
Oh no, don't worry, it's fine. How could you?
Yeah, I love the logo so much.
So that's what we're doing, you know, and the whole point is that we're filming like the results of, you know, just people seeing these things for the first time, and then we'll obviously make content, and that will obviously drive people into hopefully purchasing items, and then hopefully it'll allow us to do more of this and just get more people under the night sky, man. We got to do it.
Yeah. That's perfect. Okay, I'm going to go to the raffle.
I wrote it in the chat, but raffle entry time is over now.
So who is going to win today?
Who is lucky? Because again, this is such an amazing thing to win, and it's so blessed. I wish I could have put my name in there, but
You can't.
I'm running the show.
All right, shall we spin the wheel?
Let us spin the wheel. Make it make the sounds.
Oh my gosh, it's got a little mat in the middle of the wheel. That's so funny.
The winner is...
It always tickles me that it makes sounds. Number 4.
Now, who is number 4?
We're going to go back into our super chats here. Number 1, 2, 3, 4. This name is Film Noir.
Ooh!
Film What?
Good
Oh my
job, Film Noir.
And I will read your comment because this is what you posted with your super chat. I would say to these people, in regards to being gross to women online, to these horrible people, just be kind. It's not that hard. Amen.
He deserves this
Yes.
win for sure. That's a good comment.
Congratulations!
Congrats, Film Noir. Make sure you either email us or Kat directly, up to you, so you can get your prize. And yeah, thank you so much, Kat, for offering this to.
Yeah.
a
Oh
lucky
no,
winner.
I'm so grateful. Thank you for having me, especially because you've got so many really amazing people here. You know, like that could be on your show. I feel very grateful, and you know, of all people, I'm just like, oh, they picked me. I'm like so happy.
You're a
Because
pretty awesome person.
I don't feel like a real I am a real astrophotographer. I obviously do really serious
Yes.
work with it,
Yes.
but I still have big imposter syndrome. So you know, I
You
appreciate you
have a
guys.
unique talent, so that's perfect.
No, I totally feel that. I think that that's also amazing, and I feel like a lot of women, I feel, are so open to admit, like, yeah, I don't know, but I'm gonna keep acting like that.
I'm
And
gonna do it.
I would encourage, you know, our male astrophotographers to do the same. It's okay that you're not good; you will get better. And if you feel a little impostery, hey, so do we. Because I feel that all the time, and you know what? You're a lot better than you think you are. So just keep doing your good work. Keep putting your work out there. Keep getting better. It's a progress.
Oh, I like this. This you should have this like as a permanent section, which is like the Dahlia motivation
Right?
section.
I could talk forever, but Antoine only gives me 1 hour.
Oh, but yeah, I agree, and I think that look again, sometimes it's a bit scary to go and start a new habit, a new whatever skill, because you're going to be bad when you start, and like that's so okay. And sometimes, especially if you're a woman, you're like not many women in it, and then you're like, oh, am I showing everyone up? But go be terrible, make mistakes, be awful. It's okay. It's not about being good, it's about making progress. And even if it's slow progress, it's still progress, man. Still progress.
Amen.
I agree.
Oh, and before you go, I know we already talked about your store, but is there any way that people can get notified by that? When does it kick off?
Oh yeah.
Yes, I will just write it in the chat right now.
I wish I could. Yeah. Oh, that's easier. I wish I had the skill to put on
And
the
if
big
you
screen and
guys
stuff, but I don't.
joined us a little bit later. We were talking about Cat's store earlier. It is coming up soon. I think the last checked it was 9 days, but I think it's like a week right now.
Yeah, it's in it's on the 28th. But if you go to catma.ch/spacedesk, basically you can, it's basically an email. So you just put your name and your email, and I will send you an email when it's live. I'll give you a little poke, and I'll send you. I always send really crap space jokes with every email.
Them.
It's worth being on the list just for
we
those.
Get them, yeah.
Like, hands down, you don't even have to read the email. Just scroll to the bottom and look at the joke. It's so funny.
It is always good.
So yeah, and it's going live. Then I also am doing like these comforters as well. So you know, it's comforter season. It's fall. I love fall. Oh my gosh, I love
puzzles.
Fall. And we have puzzles. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. So if you're a puzzly kind of person, I'm so sorry, my pups are going.
That's okay. That just means it's almost time to end. So when we finish up, we will post actually the link to that in the description of this video. So if you're watching it a little later, and yeah.
To answer Brody real quick, your podcast name was
the Art Wisdom Podcast.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Art Wisdom Podcast. It's on Apple, it's on Spotify and a few other things. Look, it's not a very big podcast. Not very many people are listening to it because it's not, as most people won't even know I do it. It's something that I don't actively promote because I'm so busy promoting my other stores. But we're honing our craft. So the content is really, really amazing, and we're increasing our production value. As you can tell with all of this now, I feel like I've kind of got there. But yes, the stuff. So Chris has run, who I do the podcast with, is also an artist, but she has independently run like multi-million-dollar businesses, as have I. So it's like we get all of that big business knowledge all distilled into like how to apply it to your creative stuff, right?
Like
and also the best
digest stuff too. so people can understand, because
Yes,
I was not
exactly.
inherently a business person either, so good to know. That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's like all final words.
Yeah, I think that was all
Any
we
last
had.
things
So
before we sign off?
No, I just want to say thank you, and thank you to everyone that is here. I feel like it's just so amazing just to see like a space community. You've got one of the best communities. Everyone is so positive, and because I'm here every single time you do these, and
You are here.
we appreciate that a lot.
I see you every time.
So if you're here watching it, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much, and I also appreciate you, Dahlia and Antoine, for like having me and building all of this, and making this your life. It means a lot that you're spending your whole life helping people take photos of the stars. I think it's incredible work you're doing. Hooray for you guys! Yay!
Likewise for you. Thank you.
We'll do it as long as we can. Yay!
All right, thank you guys, and thank you, Kat. We'll see you in the next Galactic Show with another mystery guest, and thank you again.
All right,
bye guys.